What is happening, Roger Report fam? Get ready for a lightning round of the hottest sports news that you absolutely cannot miss. First up, the Pittsburgh Steelers are gearing up to face the Seattle Seahawks, and guess what? You can watch this epic showdown for free. Next, we're diving deep into fantasy football advice with a special focus on QB Aaron Rodgers. Will he lead your team to victory, or is it time to bench him? We've got the breakdown. Then, we uncover what's happening with the New York Jets' Will McDonald IV after that controversial gesture against Aaron Rodgers. The NFL has spoken, and we've got the details on the fine. And finally, we're breaking down the entire SCU week in review, covering all the crucial matchups and what you need to know moving forward. Stick around, you're gonna want to see this. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single second. Steelers vs. Seahawks, score a free ticket. Want to catch the NFL action between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks without spending a dime? This is your ultimate guide to streaming the game live and for free, no matter where you are in the world. The Pittsburgh Steelers, fresh off a thrilling comeback victory led by their new quarterback Aaron Rodgers, are set to face the Seattle Seahawks, who are still hunting for their first win of the season. This Week 2 matchup promises high stakes and incredible plays. If you're outside Australia, you might think this game is out of reach, but we've got the inside scoop on how to access the free stream on 7plus using a VPN like IPVanish. We'll walk you through the simple steps to connect to an Australian server and unlock the game, detailing why IPVanish is the top choice with its vast server network and impressive speeds. Plus, we'll touch on how to leverage free trials and money-back guarantees to watch for free, and highlight the limited-time discount on IPVanish subscriptions for long-term access. Fans are buzzing about the potential for another Rodgers masterclass and whether the Seahawks can shut down the Steelers' offense. The accessibility of this free stream has everyone excited to tune in. Don't go anywhere, because the fantasy football implications are just as wild. Next up, we're analyzing Aaron Rodgers' fantasy performance and what it means for your Week 2 lineup. Aaron Rodgers, Fantasy Football Firestorm. Is your fantasy team ready for Week 2? We're diving into the critical fantasy football advice surrounding Pittsburgh Steelers QB Aaron Rodgers, breaking down his performance, injury status, and projections to help you win your league. After a spectacular, albeit perhaps unsustainable, Week 1 performance where Aaron Rodgers showcased his decision-making by distributing touchdowns and targets, the question remains, can he replicate that success? While Rodgers isn't on the injury report and is expected to play against the Seahawks, fantasy analysts are cautious. His reliance on passing points rather than rushing, especially in today's athletic QB landscape, raises concerns. Despite being ranked as QB 22 against an above-average Seahawks defense, projections suggest around 10.8 fantasy points, with an estimated 147 passing yards and 1.1 touchdowns. We'll also look at the favorable weather conditions for the game, ensuring no environmental factors will disrupt your fantasy lineup. Fantasy managers are debating whether to start Rodgers or look for alternatives, with community discussions heavily focused on his mobility and consistency. But what happens off the field can be just as impactful. Get ready to hear about a hefty NFL fine handed down to a Jets defender after a clash with Aaron Rodgers. Jets defender's grenade gesture costs him big. Find out why New York Jets pass rusher Will McDonald IV was hit with a hefty fine by the NFL for his actions following a sack on Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. In a move that underscores the NFL's stricter stance on unsportsmanlike conduct, Will McDonald IV has been fined $14,491 for a violent gesture. The incident occurred after McDonald sacked Aaron Rodgers, and he celebrated by pretending to throw a grenade. This penalty follows a league-wide crackdown on taunting and excessive celebrations, with the NFL explicitly stating that violent or sexually suggestive gestures will result in significant penalties. McDonald, who had a strong performance with 2 sacks in Week 1, now faces the consequences of pushing the boundaries of acceptable on-field behavior. This fine sends a clear message to all players about the league's expectations for conduct throughout the season. Fans are divided, with some calling the celebration excessive and others defending it as part of the game's intensity. And if you missed any of the week's action, we've got you covered. Get ready for the full SCU Week in Review, packed with all the essential updates. SCU Week in Review, Steelers, Seahawks, and more. Catch up on all the essential news and analysis from the Rodgers Report this week, including a deep dive into the Steelers versus Seahawks matchup and insights from the latest podcast episode. This week's review highlights the highly anticipated home opener for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Seattle Seahawks. With Aaron Rodgers coming off a stellar 4-touchdown debut and the Seahawks looking to rebound, this game is packed with storylines. The SCU Week in Review covers the key matchups, including Rodgers against Seattle's secondary and Pittsburgh's defensive front against the run, detailing what the Steelers need to do to secure a 2-0 start. We also revisit Rodgers' dramatic debut, where he led a thrilling comeback win against the New York Jets with 4 touchdowns, including a game-winning 60-yard field goal. Plus, get insights from the latest podcast episode featuring Joe and Brian, who break down the critical moments, standout performances, and off-season additions for the Steelers. Viewers are encouraged to check out the full podcast on YouTube and other audio platforms for more in-depth analysis and behind-the-scenes content. That's all the top news for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, Rodgers Report fam, let's do a super fast recap. We covered how to watch the Steelers versus Seahawks NFL game for free from anywhere in the world. We broke down Aaron Rodgers' fantasy football outlook for Week 2, analyzed the hefty NFL fine for Jets defender Will McDonald IV, and gave you the full rundown of the SCU Week in Review. Don't miss out on any of our future updates. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all our socials. We'll see you next time.